Welcome to this review of Caterpillar's 2013 third quarter financial results. I'm Jim Dugan with Caterpillar's Corporate Affairs Group, and I'm joined today by Brad Halverson, our Chief Financial Officer and Group President. Brad, thanks for taking time to join us this morning.
It's great to be here.
Well, Brad, let's get right to it. It was a challenging quarter for the third quarter. Sales and revenues down 18%, profit off more than $1 per share, and we revised our 2013 outlook down. Let's talk about what's really driving this.
You know, Jim, it was a challenging quarter. In fact, it's been a challenging year, and we really have two stories. First is what's happening to our sales, and the second would be how are we reacting to that kind of inside of our walls. Well, in 2012, sales and revenues were $66 billion. But when we started the year, we thought they'd be around $64 billion. We're now forecasting our sales to be about $55 billion. That's $11 billion lower than 2012. And that's basically being driven by our mining business. Resource industry sales are down 40% in the quarter. We thought it would be down in the first half of the year, but with commodity prices being good for reinvestment, for mining production to continue, we expected our orders to improve in the second half, and that hasn't happened. And our construction business is improving. Order rates are up, our backlog is up, and we're well positioned in that business. Power systems is our most stable business. It's our largest segment now and our most profitable, and it's well performing, has a diverse set of businesses. That team's doing a great job.
Some positives there. Another positive for our machine business is market share gains, and that's also a good thing. Let's shift now, Brad, and talk about operationally within our four walls. You talked about two stories here, and within our four walls, some very good operational performance for Caterpillar.
You know, I'd like all of our employees to really listen to this because our team has done a great job. You may not read that in some of the releases you're going to hear, but we've had a very solid year operationally, and we can all be proud. Our safety is improving. Our quality continues to improve. We're hearing it from our customers, hearing it from our dealers. We're seeing it in our results. And with an $11 billion drop in sales and revenues, our operating profit decline is within our target range of 25 to 30%. We have $700 million in cost reduction if you exclude the period cost absorbed in inventory. Our capital expenditures are down $400 million, and our employees have sacrificed. They've done what it takes for us to meet our commitments, and we thank everybody for that and appreciate that.
Well, and Brad, that sacrifice, although difficult this year, sets us up for the long term. Another thing that's a very strong and positive part of the Caterpillar business model is our financial products group, and that has also done well this year.
Yeah, Financial Products is having an outstanding year. Their profit is up 25% roughly. Their portfolio is performing well. Their past dues are lower than they were a year ago. Also, the share of what they finance is up. The team is doing a super job.
Let's move now to cash flow. Cash flow is something that we've talked about this year. Third quarter, another very good quarter for Caterpillar in terms of cash flow. And can you talk us through that and talk a little bit about why that's important?
You know, this is a great story. Our operating cash flow, M&PS, is over $6.2 billion. Third quarter, $2.1 billion. So our focus on working capital, receivables, inventory management, and payables is paying off. We finished 2008 with a debt-to-cap ratio of 58%. Where we sit today is 34%, and we have $6 billion of cash on our balance sheet. You know, our balance sheet is in great position right now. And it's important to our business. As we've talked about before, it allows us to protect our credit rating, to invest in growth, R&D, capital. It allows us to fund our benefit plans, our pension plans. A dividend increase of 15% this year and $2 billion of stock repurchase, which was well received by our shareholders.
All right, so let's just summarize briefly. Challenging year so far in terms of top-line sales, no doubt about that, but good operational performance, and we've touched on that. Let's turn our attention now to 2014. We have a preliminary outlook in the release for 2014. What do we think we're going to see next year at this point?
You know, we're calling right now for sales and revenues in 2014 to be flat, plus or minus 5%. We do see world GDP improving, and we would see our construction business to be up slightly. Power systems very stable, and we're calling for that to be flat. And we see our mining business down slightly. The fact is we're going to wait until we start to see orders before we call a recovery. We've been through this before. We've been through cycles. We're going to need to be flexible in 2014, even though we're planning for flat sales and revenues in case things improve.
All right, Brad, so flexibility really the watchword for Caterpillar as we talk about 2014. Final thoughts as we wrap up today.
You know, it's been a challenging year for us, and our employees have really come through. There are a lot of sacrifices. The team is delivering, and we clearly appreciate the sacrifices that are being made. I think the things to remember is that we are in the right businesses. These businesses are good for us. We have a great business model that's working. We're performing from an operational standpoint. We are calling for flat volume next year, which means we need to be cautious, continue to focus on our cost structure. But the fact is we have capacity. We have a great team that's performing. I've been through, you've been through cycles before. This thing can turn around, and when it does, look out, because we're ready.
Thanks, Brad. For more details on our third quarter financial results, you can go to our website, caterpillar.com, and click on the Investor section. Thanks for joining us today.